Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell and to check out the join membership option.
Alright guys, so welcome to this video, and today I will be starting a new series once again, which will deal about creating a game which is similar to All-Star Tower Defense. So many of you are probably playing that game. It's a tower defense game which contains characters from various animes such as One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball, and so on. And I just wanted to show you guys how you can make that kind of tower defense game. I think that there was a suggestion on that some time ago. I have to admit that not many people are requesting those kind of tutorials or series, however. But I thought about it and like, hey, why not? You know. So there aren't many tutorials or barely any tutorials on this as well. Therefore, be the first one to do so. And I'm sorry at this point if I'm not the first one right here. Okay. So before we start with this video, please comment #bosses if you consider yourself as a part of this community. Like this video, share it to all of your friends, subscribe, check out the join member option, and turn on the notification bell if you have subscribed. And thanks a lot for your overwhelming support. As always, guys, you are truly amazing. And now let's get into this video. Okay. So we start with this empty base plate right here. And we first of all need to think about what elements that kind of game has. So we have the towers first of all, which like defend some kind of base from minions. Okay, so I'm gonna call these who walk around and walk towards your base or something. So there's always this kind of building which the towers need to defend, and you have these minions which are walking towards it. Okay, so these are the three main elements we will need right here. And let's start with the minions. So creating those tiny guys who walk a certain way to the base or to the building which is supposed to be defended. And yeah, so let's begin with that. Let me first of all build some kind of way right here. So for those purposes, I'm inserting a port. I'll be making this brown and material slate. And yeah, so this is first of all just about building. So we need to build some kind of right here for those minions. Okay, so this is enough for the beginning, I would say. Now let me just continue creating this kind of map right here. Let me size this up and use this, where is it? This as ground, as grass ground right here. Oh, it spawns right here. Let me create this building later. So I just want to show you the moving mechanism of those dummies. So let's say that our minions are dummies, however, spawn right here. Okay, so this is their spawn. Let me first of all make things organized right here. So let me create a folder called TV. TV stands for TW. I mean, TW stands for tower. TD. I mean, TD stands for tower defense, and a map. Okay, so TD map. Or let's just call this TD. Create another folder called, or duplicate this 3 times. First one we call map, the second one we call waypoints, and the third one we call minions. And we will get back to those 2 folders later. So let's put these. Let's put the map inside of the map folder. Therefore, we have to select everything, but except for this spawn point right here. So put it inside of here, make sure it's anchored, and now we gotta deal with this part. So call this spawn and put it inside of the TD map, or the TD folder. I'm sorry. Make this can collide false if you want to, and so as I said, this is the starting point for our minions. Okay, the minions will walk their way through here, then here, here, to the end right here. And here we will place a tower or a building later, which will receive damage from those dummies, or those minions. Excuse me if I'm calling them dummies, but I mean minions. And yeah, so we need to create those waypoints I'm talking about. Okay, so waypoints, well, the term is pretty obvious, I think. So these are just the points which indicate the way our minion will walk. So make them transparent, and now you need to follow me. Okay, so imagine that the minion starts right here. Okay, the minion has no orientation and does not know where to go. And these waypoints right here, so let me call this waypoint 1. This waypoint will give some kind of orientation to the minion. So we could just leave this waypoint right here and make the minion walk towards this waypoint. But in this case, this wouldn't make much sense, because we could just place it right here, okay? And then make the minion walk all the way here. And then use this part, I mean, place another one here and make the minion walk from here to here, okay? So this makes more sense than just leaving it right here and duplicating the part and making the minion first of all walk right here and then here, okay? So we would be using 2 parts for this, even though we could just only use 1. So this is the idea behind this. And so we make the minion walk right here, then here, and here, okay? So you need to place waypoints in all of these corners. So where the waylight changes, so it goes straight forward, then turns to right, then goes straight forward again. So every time the direction of the path, so every time the direction of the path changes, you need to place a waypoint at those corners right here. So this is our waypoint 1. Let's create a waypoint 2. Place it right here. And let's create a waypoint 3. And place it right here as well. Alright, so this is to our waypoints. I'll make sure that they are anchored and can collide a set of bolts, and then move them up to this waypoints folder. Alright. What we're gonna do now is create a folder inside of the replicated storage and call it minions. And this folder will contain the model of the minions. So let me just create one. So let's say that we want this guy right here to be a minion, then we would want to shorten him down and call him, well, dummy1, and put him inside of this minions folder. And I might be, well, not might, but I'll probably make a video in future, or I might be dealing with it in this video as well. Let's see. So I'll be dealing with customizing this dummy, like adding hats to him or her, designing an actual anime character out of this dummy, and just overall, yeah, just giving him some kind of identity. Alright, so we've placed this dummy right here. So all of the minions which like should be spawned in this path need to be placed inside of this folder. Okay, so this is pretty important. Now let's create a script called tower defense. Let's add a wait right here. So we wait 10 seconds, and then what we want to do is we think that we maybe should add tower the building right here first of all before starting with the whole scripting. So let me just create some very basic building right here. Nothing very special. Voice break, right? Okay, there we go. So this is our building. Let me anchor it, and there we go. So place this inside of directly inside of this TD folder again, and let me add some values to it. So we will need two integer values right here. One will be the max health, and the other one would obviously be the health. And the max health, let's put it to 100. So this value obviously indicates what the maximum health of this building right here is. So how many minions, or how much damage it can take from the minions. And the other value right here is displaying the health, so it's representing the. Put this at 100 as well, because we want our building to start with full health. Now, before we get into deeper scripting, let me just create one other thing right here. So let me create this billboard GUI to make the health actually visible to the player. So let me put this always on top. So I'll be creating some kind of health bar right here. This will be the background, our health bar. Let me just keep things very basic, so let me just make this bright red. and then duplicate it, put it inside of the background frame, and I'll be calling it front. And it of course should overlap. And yeah, let's make this color bright green. Then let me add one last thing. So this obviously gives out the exact health in numbers visible to the person who takes a look at this. Okay. So I'll be creating a script now which updates this health bar right here. This is pretty easy. I'll be first of all defining a new variable which refers to this health value right here. So all we need to do is script.parent.health, refer to it. And what we want to do then is, let me create a function for change. And we want this bar to update, and the text of course update, depending on the health status of this tower right here. So let me define other variables called health front, script parent, health background. Oh, okay. Let me change this to health GUI. So health GUI, ground and front. Of text. So what I'm doing right here is I'm creating a new variable which stores this thing right here. Therefore, we refer to it by script.parent.health.GUI.background.front, and we do the same for our health text. So we're referring to this. Okay. What we want to do now is we want to make use of the tween service, so local t a get service tween service create. Then our health front. So I'll be explaining this tween service soon. Okay, so what this tween service does is it creates some kind of transition between two statuses. So that would be like the definition I would give you guys. So it is a pretty easy definition, and someone who's more experienced in scripting would maybe call this wrong, but this is just to make you guys understand. So let me say that this is our status 1, okay? So this is our current status, our current state, and we want to get to this state, okay? And if we would not use this tween service and would change to this state, we would just run the script and suddenly get into this state, okay? But what tweening does, or the tween service does, is we will have a smooth transition to this state. This is what the tween service does. So instead of this bar just dropping down to 0, we would have a smooth transition and see how it slowly drops down to 0. Okay. And what I'm doing right here is I'm creating a new tween for our half front, so for our bar, with the tween information. So 0.5 is the time in which this transition should happen. So, or the time, how long this transition should take. The easing set is linears, and the direction is in. So there's a developer hub page for this, for all of these single styles and directions. So they're only in and out, but all of these single styles right here. And the rest is irrelevant to us. It is just about reversing and repeat counters and so on. But which is pretty interesting for us is this last part right here. So this is the property which should move to another state, okay? And the property we want to change is our size. So we want the size to be dependent from the result we receive from this, which has a 0 point in front as long as the health is not equal to our max health, okay? So once these two are equal, we will receive 1 and everything will look like this. But if we would have 80 right here and 100 right here, we would have 0.80, which would be about maybe right here, okay? And this is just some kind of calculation which makes this bar change. And we of course need to play this tween, so this is pretty important. So you can create it but not play it, and then it will not be displayed. So we always need to play the tween. And what we're doing right here is we're just updating this text. So health 100, 100, and what we're doing here is we're just replacing the first 100 with our health, and the second 100 with our max health. And now let me do the following. So once this health value changes, we want this function to be triggered or fired whatsoever. Let me see if this somehow works, but it probably should work. Okay, value is not available. Okay. Oh, so I did health text instead of health. Okay, so that was my mistake, guys. And there we go. Okay, let me see if changing the health right here does anything. Okay, so there's no point in changing it as a client, so we need to switch to the service perspective. And health drops down to 50, and there we go, guys. So there's this transition which I talked about. And okay, there we go. So the health thing works. And now let's get deeper into the scripting. So let's open the script right here, and the script runs after 10 seconds. Okay. Now we will first of all create a loop, a while loop. which will run as long as our health is greater than 0. So while script parent building health value is greater than 0. So this is a condition which is pretty important, otherwise dummies would keep spawning all through this building is already destroyed and the player is defeated. Okay. Now, what we should do is I'll be setting up some variables which are settings for you guys right here, so you can just easily change settings in terms of spawning, maybe like the rate, the spawn rate, and yeah, change this spawn rate. I'm at this count right here, so per second, okay? So we will do 1 per second right here. So this is just one of the settings, so I can honestly not think of more settings. So if you guys have any settings in your mind, then drop them down in the comments. I'm pretty uncreative, and the time at which I'm recording this video is pretty late. But let's get through this, guys. Okay. Let me add this weight 1 right here. Oh, just leave this out. Okay. So let me create a for I loop. Spawn rate do. Okay. Local dummy. So I'll be explaining this in a bit after I'm done. Service replicated storage, and we want to refer to this minions folder right here. So this folder contains our minions, and we want to clone. No, wait, let's actually do something else. So we just want a random minion to be cloned out of this. Let me call this random n. So this is just a. Wait, I'm sorry, guys. I'm pretty sorry. Okay, so we will keep everything to this and do get children brackets. This these brackets right here, and math random. One till this again. And first of all, just want to see if this works. So if I did correctly right here. So let me create more dummies for these purposes. And now let's see if this somehow works, guys. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's another setting. Alright, so we want to clone this dummy, of course. So you guys are totally confused on what I'm doing right here, so you have to take a look at this step by step. So what I'm doing right here is I'm referring to this replicated storage, this minion folder inside of the replicated storage, and then applying this get children one. So I'm receiving some kind of table with all of the children inside, which is dummy 1 and dummy 2. So the children's are always the elements or the components or the things which are inside of a certain instance, okay? And then we're doing these brackets right here. So we want to access a certain instant or certain child by an index, and we want this index, or we want to choose the child as randomly as possible. Therefore, we want to access it by the index because we can apply this math random right here. So this math random just creates a random number between the first number and the second number, okay? And the second number in this case cannot be greater than the amount of children this whole folder has. So imagine that we would have a number which is greater than the amount of children it has. Let's say we have like 2 children inside of here, but our index is 3, so we want to access the third children all through this minions folder only has 2, okay? So this is a huge issue, and therefore we use this hashtag right here, and yeah, so applying this game gets, so this hashtag gets the amount of children of our minions folder right here. So we are just accessing a random minion right here at this point, and then we are cloning it, cloning this thing. And what we want to do now is we want to put this dummy inside of this minions folder inside of our workspace. So we do dummy.parent. So we are giving this dummy a new parent. It means we are putting it somewhere else. We are putting it inside of this minions folder inside of the workspace right here. Okay, so now let me give you a short explanation on this. So we are waiting a certain time, so we wait, and sort of a while loop is pretty important, otherwise the whole game would just crash. And in this case, the spawn time is our wait time. And you can change it right here if you want to, but make sure that the time you give, or the number you give right here, is on seconds, okay? So if you want to make 1 minute, then you would have to write 60 seconds right here. So 60, okay? So the time is always given in seconds right here. So take care of that. And we're creating a for I loop, which loops a yeah, so in this case only 1 time. But if I would change it to 3 or 4, then it would loop 4 times in a row, okay? So it would like yeah, spawn 4 dummies or minions at sort of a certain amount of time, which is given right here. Okay. So that's to this. Now let me check if... Okay, wait. I see an issue right here, so I've parented it, but I need to give this whole thing a C frame, or change the C frame. Okay. Right. So this dummy is inside of this block right here. There are probably multiple dummies inside. Yeah, so there are many dummies inside right now, and we need to do some stuff about collision. So the collision is a huge issue. let me try to do something against it. So let's create a new script called no collision, and let's get the physics service first of all. So game get service physics service create collision group. So we want to create a new collision group called minions. Yes. Okay, so this should do. Let's see if this works. So if this works, then I'll be explaining this to you guys. Creation. Oh. Okay. So, okay. So it makes sense. It makes sense. Okay, so we need to check for this collision group in the first place. So before we create another collision group, we should check if the desired collision group already exists. So in order to do that, video retrieve the groups. Yes, get all collision groups. So receiving a table right here, and then we just loop through this table. And if either 2 is equal to minions, let's say if it is not equal to minions, then we want these two things to happen. So we want to create a new collision group called minions and set the collision to false. So this is what we want to change. If this works, then I'll be explaining this in detail for you guys. So let's hope that this works. Okay, could then create a collision group with that may not already exist. Okay, so why isn't this check working right here? So print, we can print this out. So what is this thing receiving? Let me take a look. Have I created a collision group called minions? No. Did not. Okay. Interesting, pretty interesting. Oh. But what kind of thing is this? So why is it so weird? So why is this table so weird? Okay, so let's see what kind of tables are inside. So, but what is this? So why? Okay, so there we go. So it seems to create this new collision group, but it somehow is not able to check for it, and okay, but it somehow is not actually able to check for it and just continues on creating. Could not create. Okay, so there's this error again, but it is not printing out the name. Why is this script not printing out the name? Why is this happening, guys? So why isn't it just easy to, well, to work with these collision stuff? Why is it so difficult, guys? Okay. Okay. So the only wait, guys, I have to think. So But the problem is that the script is somehow not able to access this names entry right here. So it is, I don't know, but it's not able to access it, and I have no idea why. Wait, so I think that yeah, so I was like editing in the second script. God, guys, so what was I doing? What was I doing, guys? Just lost time. Very unnecessary, guys. Very annoying, very annoying. So not okay. Nil. So why is it nil? Why is it nil? Why is this thing supposed to be nil? Why is this thing supposed to be nil, guys? This makes no sense. Really, this really makes no sense. But why is the script like only looping through this first entry? Why not through the second one? Like, what is the reason? Why? Maybe we should like disable these scripts and re-enable them once they're spawned. Okay. So I think that we should let's leave the collision task to this script right here. So let's just get rid of these scripts, guys. So these do not seem to to work. Okay, so let me create these collision groups, and yeah, there we go. Okay, and remove these scripts. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the collision thing is not working properly for some reason. Why isn't this working properly, guys? Anyway, so I think that we would probably see later if everything works or not in terms of collision. So let's just move on. Okay, so in order to make these dummies walk to all of these waypoints, we need to make use of the path finding service. Or isn't it even called path finding service? Yes, so it is. Right. So we need to get the finding service first of all. So wait, before we even get started, let me explain you what I was doing right here. So first of all, I'm getting the physics service, which we will need in order to create these collision groups. Okay, so we're getting the physics service. We're creating some collision groups. So groups in which its objects cannot collide together if you of course set it to that. So we're creating this collision group, and then we're setting whether these objects inside of a collision group can be collidable. Okay, and in this case, of course, we don't want them to collide with each other. And what we are doing down here now is we are looping through the so we need to loop through the dummy. Okay, so we're looping through the dummy, looking for each body part, which is either a mesh port or a port. So mesh ports are the limbs, such as upper torso, right upper arm, left upper arm, or body parts like the upper torso, lower torso, and the head, for example, is a part, the humanoid root part, and so on. Okay, and if we encounter one of these, then we want to add them to this collision group, which makes objects inside of that group not able to collide with each other. All right, so since I've just changed this to dummy right here, let me see if this maybe works now. Let's hope so, guys. Let's hope that this thing works. Okay. So this works. As you guys just have seen, the dummies collide. Do not collide. So they can stand in each other. Okay, perfect, guys. So let me create a new variable which refers to this pathfinding service I was talking about earlier. So this pathfinding service is used to create a fictional path, so fictional to us, path, okay, an invisible path between these waypoints, so between dummy's position here and the waypoint, making dummy walk to this point later on, okay? So we need this pathfinding service in order to make the dummy walk from waypoint to waypoint. Okay. What we want to do now is let's create a new thread. Okay, so the code inside of here works apart from the rest. So if I add a wait inside of here, then the script would just continue down below here, but do or wait the wait time inside of here. Okay, so everything which is written inside of here works apart and independent from the rest. What we want to do right here is we just want to no. Oh yes, we want to loop through these waypoints we have created. So points in pairs, script parent waypoints get children. Okay. And I first of all want to see in which order the script puts them inside of this fictional table. But it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay, so this is brilliant. This is good. Okay, now we want to create a path. Okay, so this does not work. So we want to create a new path. Just create this path. Then path compute async. Okay, where's this? Oh, okay. And we want to add the following things inside. So first of all, we want to add our dummy's current position by referring to the humanoid root part, so the root part of our dummy or our minion, and then to its position. And then we want to refer to the waypoint's position. So waypoint's position. And this path has been computed. Then we want to get all waypoints which are created. So you have to imagine that between this distance, okay, so this is a waypoint, these are waypoints, okay, but in between these ways there are several more waypoints being created, okay, and these are waypoints as well, but not but I'm not talking about these ones, okay. So once the path is computed, there are several more waypoints in between, okay, and we want to get those now by doing path get waypoints, and then we loop through these waypoints. So do, and then we want our humanoid or our dummy to move to the waypoint's position and wait till the moving has finished. Okay, so we want to add this wait right here, so this is pretty important, and I'll be explaining this more detailed in a bit. once it has worked. So there's no point in explaining stuff which does not work, you know? Okay. As you can see, these dummies make their way through these ways here, through this path. Till they reach this spot right here. Okay, now there's this thing with the walk speed, those dummies. Okay, so as you guys have seen, those dummies were pretty fast, and if you want to change that, then you can just easily go here and change the walk speed right here. But I think that I want to do this this whole topic around the walk speed and such. I want this to be randomized, so I want to have random walk speeds to each minion right here. So dummy humanoid walk speed map random between 3, no, let's say 4 and 25. And now before we so let me explain this more detail. So we're getting this pathfinding service right here. Now we're making the code in between run apart from the rest. Okay, so this is very important because we're adding this wait right here. Okay, and if we would wait and pause the whole script till this dummy has reached its destination, then no other dummies could be created at the same time. And this is a huge problem which requires this solution right here. And yeah, so we are looping through this waypoints folder right here. So we're looping through these things to these guys and creating a path for each of them. Then we're computing a path for each of them as well with the minion's current position and the waypoints position. Okay, and then we are getting the waypoints in between, so dummy has to walk each waypoint till it gets to one of these waypoints. And this is what happens right here. So we're getting those waypoints and then looping through them, and then moving to the waypoint we're currently at. Okay, so we are looping through a table of many waypoints and moving to the waypoint we're currently at and waiting till player or our minion has reached one of these waypoints. And now after the minion has reached the end to this building, we want the building, of course, to be damaged. And this is what happens right here. As you can see, this guy right here is slower than this one. And yeah, so as you can see, it prints out the following once it has reached the end. Okay. Now what we want to do at the end is, of course, we want to reduce this health right here. So we want to destroy the dummy in the first place. and script parent get building get health value equals the current health minus, let's make this randomized as well, 1 and 10. Okay. Now before we get into our final test right here, so I'm going to be ending this video after this test, so if everything works perfectly, of course. Let me give me a moment. Let me reduce the hip height. So I'll be doing part 2 of this series, showing how to add the towers which defend the building at the end. Okay, so towers which defeat those minions and will save this tower from those minions, of course. So this will be the topic for our next video. As you can see, this dummy right here has no animation and such, and as I said, I'll probably deal with animations, appearance, and so on in another part in which I show how you can customize those minions right here. And let's see, so our minions are reaching their destination and the tower is receiving damage, guys. So let's wait till this tower is completely destroyed. So it has reached a health of 0. Okay, so this can take pretty long. In the meantime, I want to thank you guys again. I really appreciate your support. So we're currently at 4,220 subscribers, guys, so you are truly amazing. I remember back then when I had like around 1,000 subscribers or 700 subscribers, guys. I could never imagine that I would reach this amount of supporters, of subscribers, guys, and yeah, really thank you. And I know that this video contains a part which could be cut out easily, so I'm obviously talking about the collision part right here, in which I tried to create those 2 collision scripts in each of these dummies. So I could probably cut that out, but I want you guys to see that not everything in terms of scripting works as you expect, and that there can be errors and that you have to look for them and find them. So you need to find out about these issues, and every time I encounter these issues, you guys can see how I'm like trying to add prints or just trying to look for a problem overall by using certain methods, and I want you guys to see how this can work. Okay, so this is my idea behind it. Of course I can cut out these parts of those videos. There's actually no work for me, so I just need to find those parts and just cut them out. Okay, but I want you guys to see that that scripting is not always easy, and yeah, it has problems, but you will need to face them and beat them, and just find solutions for them and work with methods to find the true solution at the end. Okay, so enough with the talking, and as you can see, those minions have stopped walking towards this tower, and our tower has taken a lot of damage, and I think that this is it for this part, guys. So if you enjoyed this series, then please leave a like, subscribe, share this video to all of your friends. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell if you have subscribed, and check out the join member option to see videos before anyone else, so newer videos, and to receive help from me. So if you need any help in terms of scripting besides my videos, then you can always get in contact with me. So everyone who buys that channel membership should make sure that he or she is inside of that community Discord. And that's the way to contact me. Okay, so over at community Discord. And yeah, so, and oh yeah, before I forget that, I will leave a link to this place inside of the description, so don't forget to check it out, guys. Okay, so that's it with this video, and thanks for watching, and see you in the next one, guys.